I like that. Okay, we are live, everyone. We are live. So, hey, welcome to today's Hangout. Today, we're going to be talking about going into the fourth quarter and, with a lot of steam and getting ready for the new year just in a amazing way. And we are so lucky today to have a special guest on with us, Miss Linda
Yes.
Trotman. And it is the journey that she has had from her very beginning. We're actually going to share that with you today. We're going to go way back in the day, and even to the point where she made a decision to actually really get her dropship business to where it's at right now, to where she just did just a few days ago for Cyber Monday. She was able to sell $57,000 worth of products using our dropshipping system that we teach. And like, I mean, it's awesome to go back in time, and what you guys are going to see is like she had a goal on paper when she filled out her application, and that goal is so crystal clear, and for her to have achieved that now and exceed it beyond her wildest measure, her wildest dreams, like it's really going to be an awesome episode. My name is Jason O'Neill. Mr. Jerry Mills, why don't you go ahead and say what's up?
What's up, everybody? We got a snowy day here in Chicago. We got Linda in sunny California, although apparently it may rain for the first time in how long, Linda?
About 8 years.
Yeah, so we got Jay down in I'm sure it's a sunny day in Florida, isn't it, buddy?
Pretty nice out right now. Yeah, it's not too bad. We got the natural sunlight going on in the room here.
Maybe somebody will drag you out on a run later or something.
I need that right now. I need to get out on a run. I did my walk this morning though, so I got my gratitude walk out of the way. So yeah, that was fun. That was really fun to get ready for this because I was so excited about getting on this call right here today. Like this is it's a real honor. I tell you, we have a lot of people that are doing extremely well inside of our group, but nobody is beating Miss Queen Bee, Linda Trotman. She is the queen bee of our group. So, Linda, why don't you say hello to everybody?
Well, hi everybody. I'm so happy to be here this morning. I love hanging with all these guys and girls. I have to say Remy and Alex too. I mean they're with us, but I'm so blessed to be here. It's hard to express all the feelings that I have going on in my body right now, but I'll be telling you about them as time goes on today. I'm sure. But I'm so proud of our group. I'm so proud of everybody. When I jump on and see the success that our group is having, and all of you, and oh my gosh, I'm just like, I've never in my entire life seen a system or group that has done what we're doing right now. It just rocks. I mean, hey, Jason, you rock my world. What can I say? Always.
Hey, we all have a zero to hero journey. Like I'm writing the book right now, so like it's fun to actually go back and think about these things and really get into that moment of like, holy cow, that some of these things are hilarious, right? Like when you look back, you're like, geez, no wonder like that happened, But it's so cool to be able to look back and also celebrate accomplishments, like to go from where you were such a long time ago, and even like you endured so much to get to the point where you made that decision to change your life. You found the dropshipping business, and you've had an amazing amount of success so far, and today is a celebration of your persistence, and it's a celebration of your journey, because it's an amazing journey. Like it's so cool to be able to hear it and everything that you've gone through and you've endured through to make it to where you're at today. Because that's the one thing that like it's sometimes easy to see when we get to this point in life where we're successful, right? And like when new people see you, they're like, oh, you're so lucky to have everything that you have, and sometimes they don't see the behind the scenes stuff that's going on in the everyday life that you've had to go through to get to that point. And it's a journey.
Yeah.
And that's what this show is all about, is the journey. It's the journey from, the struggle, the pain, and the failures and the frustrations, because we all go through it. We all go through it. There's not one single person on this planet who doesn't endure some type of challenges in their lives, and it's about persisting through to where you're the champion of your own life. You're the champion of your own soul and your own mission, and you're impacting the world in positive ways, and you're doing things. And you, Miss Linda Trotman, you are an amazing, amazing lady. You have affected so many people at this point, and we're just blessed to have you on the show today.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to share, because it really hasn't been, a smooth sailing, like, okay, it dropped in my lap and we just went from, zero money to where we're at today. No. It's like, absolutely not. What took me to get here to say yes to you was, it was not easy. It was not easy. Wow.
Well, we see the end. We kind of see you like the end. So just to give you guys a sneak peek, again, she did a $57,000 in sales in one single day. So there's going to be some people that say, well, how much is that in profit? So just say into the tunes of thousands of dollars worth of profit in one day, and that's just all the culmination of all the hard work that went in to get to that. So, oh, look, we got it on the screen right there. Check that out. That is wow. That is one day.
Biscuit.
Look at that. November 30th.
You know what? That for me is to be able to prove that I did it. It's not just talk, that it is actual proof, that, because that came right off of Amazon, our back office in Amazon. So I just I'm just speechless. Is that really me?
Wow, we got the Queen Bee speechless.
Yes.
That is not an easy accomplishment.
Mark this day. Mark this day.
December 2nd, 2015.
Exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So Jerry, I know that you've got some things that you wanted to talk about with Linda.
Yeah,
to help.
And I think that it's a good jumping off point. You see where she's at with Cyber Monday, right? With those sales numbers, and maybe some of you out there are saying, "Oh my gosh, I could never get there," But you got to remember, where did we start? At what number did we start at, Linda?
Zero.
Zero.
Absolutely zero.
We all start at zero. Linda started at zero. Jason started at zero. We started at zero. And $57,000 on Monday from Linda, from zero to that. Mm-hmm. That's part of what the program and the tribe that we run with, the Outsourced Lifestyle. When you're running with the big dogs, that's kind of where you get to. So, but everybody starts at the same place, and it's interesting. We were talking about, when you make that decision to really move forward. And Jason's got something he's going to throw up on the screen there. When Linda first started, she had to apply to join this mastermind, and we want to really just kind of illustrate, how far she's come to get from there to here, and you get a look at some of that and some of what she's done, and it's pretty impressive. I don't think we're seeing it yet, are we?
It's not up there on your screen.
Oh,
it says on screen sharing. Yeah, so
there's just a delay, So, what do you see, Linda, when you look back at your application to where you are now?
Whoa. Well, when I first had to even fill out that application, I was like, oh, gosh, all those thoughts going through my head. Is he going to accept me? Is he going to, I was like so scared that, that he wasn't going to let me do it. And I wanted it so bad at that point when I knew that I wanted personal coaching, because I knew that that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to get out of my own way, you know, to allow myself to have the success that I'm having today. So, and I'm very coachable. I'm very coachable.
It
So,
says it actually says it in here. Let me see, like where it says that,
yeah.
like right here. We are coachable. You see this right here? Like that was the one thing that you actually that really stood out to me. I remember when I read through it, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Like she understands that, if she just takes what she's gonna learn and applies it, that there's a good chance that she's gonna move to the next stage. I mean, who would have ever thought that it would grow to where it is at today, other than the fact that on here you put that what's your monthly income goal in the next 6 months, which was to sell. I believe this was to sell $60,000 or more worth of products, right?
Yes, yes. And that was
Amazing.
a huge stretch for me. That was like, it was like I couldn't even think about, you know, that was like this is a pipe dream. I'm never gonna get there, you know. But you know, I also had the hope that that dream would become real. I just didn't know I was going to be doing that in a day.
Yeah.
Or very close to it in a day, you know. But yeah, it was an amazing, you know. I can't tell you how fast I ran through this house when I heard that I was accepted.
Well, that's awesome. I want to like kind of highlight a couple nuggets just from this initial starting point, because we all have to go from, if we're going from zero to hero, then it takes some sort of change agent to change the reality of where things are now that we're not satisfied with. So a couple things was that, you see from the application that Linda's mindset, there were doubts, there were fears. It's all normal. It's all the things that we all struggle with. Yet she had enough belief in herself or dissatisfaction with the status quo that she was willing to put herself out there, knowing there could be rejection, knowing that there was no guarantee, seeing something that she saw worked, and she wanted that, but she was going to go after that. So the first thing is, you've got to have that conviction and belief in yourself and in the right opportunity to get you to actually take that step of action. And sometimes people who feel stuck or in that sort of miserable status quo, not saying that she was miserable, but you're not satisfied with where you're at, you've got to have that belief in the system and in yourself to take that step of action, to get off the couch, so to speak, to put yourself out there. And that's what she did. And that's the first thing that opened up this world of possibility of coaching and training. And going to coaching, the second thing I want to highlight from what Linda and Jason are talking about there is being able to be coachable. Okay? So Linda highlights that, hey, we are coachable. And one of the things, and Jason has mentioned this, but one of the hard things for him is he really wants to help people find financial freedom in their lives to be able to pursue their passions. And it's very distressing when you have the right system and you're motivating people to take action and they don't take action. When he gives you very simple steps, do A, do B, do C. Do them consistently. We talked about the slight edge the other week, and taking those consistent actions, right? They're easy to do, they're easy not to do. And Linda is proof that she took the coaching, she did it, she executed the steps, and has had amazing results. But we see so many, and so it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us because we see that everybody can have the success they're pursuing, they want to have, if they will be coachable, if they will take action. So
let me piggyback on that real quick,
yeah.
Jerry. I want you to do this, Linda. I want you to like this is going to be a really fun exercise, and I'm sneaking this one up on you guys because I just thought about it, and like this is like a cool thing to do. So like we talk about the why all the time, right? Like we always talk about why do we want something? Why do we want to do it? Like what's the real reason behind it? So Linda, can I ask you to like just literally sit there, just get into the state that you were in at this particular moment. Like if you remember, like what was going on around you, like how are you feeling, like what was going on inside of you when you filled this out right here. Read that to us, and like literally what was going through your mind at that moment. How were you feeling, like where were you at, like compared to where you are now, right? Like because that's like a lot of people that are going to watch this is where they're at, is in this exact place, where Linda was at this time, right? And her why was obviously something that, like, when I'm reading this, it's like, holy cow, that like grips me. Like it's attractive enough to make you want to go do it, right? Instead of like not want to do it, like so many people out there do, unfortunately. Like the difference between winning and losing is having something that's compelling enough for you to want to push forward into your new reality, because like you can't ever go back to that point in your life again. Like you've experienced this reality now. Like reality's different to you than it was at this point in your life. So like wherever someone's at, that's the zero, right? Like the zero is that decision to make that commitment to the decision that you make to get it to the hero journey, the hero part, the $57,000 day, so to speak. That's what we're celebrating right now. But like, where were you at this point in your life?
Well, just like it said, we were living in poverty. We did actually have our house on the market. We were in bankruptcy. We were, I just didn't know where we were going to go and what we were going to do, and we were looking for the solution. But what I said there, man, I was just reading it, and I was like, wow, all of those feelings, that we would live in poverty and not live like where we are now. And that would be truly sad because, we would really know that we failed. And I'm not one to fail. I'm not one to accept failure. I'm a very much a part of the solution, not part of the problem. So, but I was failing right there, and I was not going to accept that for myself. My mom, who is ill and who has Alzheimer's, and she's been living with me for 16 years now, and I refuse to, let her be anywhere but here with me because I want to take care of her the way she needs to be taken care of, and that I know that she is going to be well cared for, because I'm a control freak anyway.
How does your mom feel about everything now?
Oh my gosh, she just, you know what? She actually went on the cruise with us, and she got to meet Jason, and she said, boy, I sure wish that I was younger and he was a little older.
Your mom's so sweet. I just love you guys. You guys are just such a fun family to be around. Like just the energy that you exude. You're fun. Like I'm forever grateful for like you going out there and doing what you did, because like like without you, without your journey, this whole thing doesn't like happen the way that it's happened, for me and for everybody, as we're going through our we're all going through our own individual stories within this. And Jerry and Alex, they have a story that they're getting to enjoy, and like where they started from and stuff too. But what was that she was talking about yesterday, Jerry, 40 years ago? What was that again? Remember that?
How she got started in the home business?
Yeah, man.
Well,
Yeah.
I can share a little bit about that. The day that, and
Yeah.
it was clear to me today as it was when I was introduced to it. I, you know, we have siblings in our lives, and you know, I had three brothers, and my my most close brother, you know, I don't know, sometimes you just relate to certain people, you know, but my brother, who just was the, you know, rocked my world. He took care of me when I was, you know, he made sure that I had the boyfriends that I had were going to treat me with respect. That was very hard to live with. But he introduced me to, you know, MLM. He came to me one day and said, just make a list of people. I'll be over and we're going to talk about it. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, just make a list of people. And I said, okay. And that's when my coachable days started, right? I just did what I was told. I just said, okay. And, you know, he was the one who introduced me to MLM. We joined a program, and it was it it was awesome. But what was more awesome about it, that I got to work with my brother, who I just absolutely adored, and we had fun. We worked hard. We played hard. We owned boats. We owned cabins. We owned, you know, cars. We owned Corvettes. We owned. I mean, we were living high on life and a lot of money. So it was. I mean, it was good. What, you know. Today I'm sad because my brother's very ill. We don't know how long he's going to be with us, and I wanted him so bad to do business with us. But I will never ever forget my start, and it was with him. I mean, he just said, and he used to always draw circles. I always used to be, you know, in the circle world with him all the time. And then he would draw this one circle, and it was like he had spokes, right? And he goes, Linda, please don't reinvent the wheel. If you take out a spoke, it's going to make that wheel, right? But I was always good at reinventing the wheel. So I had to learn to be a little bit more coachable and not really. But
sounds like your brother was able to kind of take your natural energy and help it stay directed and stay, you know. Can you talk about some of how you dealt with the ups and downs of building a business and just the home business journey?
Right. Well, I actually, the hardest thing that happened was that, I mean, I became a single mom. I had three children. I had to really put food on the table, you know, and a roof over their heads, and I didn't have any help at the time, you know, from my husband, and, you know, eventually from his illness he passed away, and not eventually, but he was young. He was only in his 40s when he passed, and I had to work three jobs. I mean, I was like, I had a very successful daycare business. I had MLM. I was working at night, and then on the weekends I was doing hair because I'm a beautician as well. So I always used to call myself Jack of all trades and master of none, you know. And then I had to really change that thinking because being master of none meant that I was never going to succeed. You know, I really got to see that, you know. So then I became, you know, jack of all trades and master of all of them. Oh, I mean, and then I lived into that, and I had to create that every day, you know, create myself to become that, you know, person who can get up every day and go to three jobs every single day, 24/7, 7 days a week, you know, and do it on my own. 10 years I did that, and that was before I, you know, and I met Bill in the meantime in that, you know, in the other program that we had started out in. That's where I met him, and then we would always go out in twos because we were, because we worked late at night, so eh, they didn't like women going out by themselves. They wanted somebody to go with them.
All right. So what was the go-to line when you guys would approach people? Because you guys were like walking up to people in like Walmart and stuff, weren't you? Like doing, like you were doing some stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, we were doing that. We were,
So what was it? What was the go-to? What was the line? How did you make it happen? Like what was? How do you get them in? We got a big one.
are you looking for a way to make money? An extra $500 a month, right? Wow, that was the hardest thing we ever did in our lives, and we had to chase it. It was always chasing the dream, chasing, 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 chasing. This is the first time that I've not had to chase anything. It comes to me, right? And that was what my daycare was. They came to me. I stayed right here, and it came to me. So I was really looking for that. I was looking for that kind of business that I got to stay stationary, and it just came to me, right? And that's where I'm at today. It all comes to me. I love it.
Talk about that turning point then. Talk about how it came to you. What's the key turning point, and were you all for it when it came to you, or did it take a little prodding?
I love it. Yeah, no, I was not. I was in another company, an MLM company. I loved being there. I wasn't making any money, but I loved writing, and I was able to do that. And I was happy there, making no money, but happy there. Because my whole career was really not making any money, except for my own daycare. I made tons of money there, but it was very successful, and I did that for 15 years. But I'm sorry, 30 years for daycare. But I mean, I made a lot of money, more than people could even imagine. And my brother actually followed me on that career path because he opened up a daycare too. You know how well it was doing. So he and his wife opened up a daycare. But the turning point was it was Bill, actually. He found what we kind of got started in with eBay, and but I said, no, you do it. I'm not interested, don't care to. And then when it came down to the fact that we were putting our house on the market, did I have to do some, soul searching? And he said, let's just try this. What can it hurt? One last time. I mean, that's what we were talking during that time. It was like, one last time. Well, this is it, babe. He said, well, just do this. I won't ask you to do anything else. I said, well, you better heck not. And then he actually tricked me into, because I still was a holdout. It took him about a month to really, really get me to, and he tricked me to actually be on a call to hear how it worked, right? So, yeah, I came into this business kicking and screaming. I was not happy. But once I saw when I started working it and learning it, then things started shifting. I said, okay, well, okay, we're making $4 a month. That ought to be good. That was like the beginning.
Better than zero. Better than zero.
Yeah. Well, I was at zero first.
Yeah,
Right.
I know that.
Yeah. And then I thought, oh my God, we went to an event, and that's the biggest turning point. That's where I met Jason. He was sitting at a bar with another friend, and they were just like sitting back there, kind of aloof, not really engaging with people, but he was cute. That's what drove me to him. I thought, I got to go meet this guy. You know, I just want to talk to him. I don't know what he's all about, but I'm going to find out because he was just cute. That was my whole thing. And that's how I really got started, because Jason was cute. And, you know, Bill and I went over and we introduced ourselves and started talking to him, and he threw us out a little nugget. I was blessed with that. I mean, God, he threw out a nugget. And then when I saw him speaking on stage, I went, oh, my gosh. I was like shocked, because I had no idea. I had no idea, and that's all it took for me. And then I was stalking this man from out the gate from that point on. And then he was, when he threw out that you know, said, well, I'm gonna, you know, I'm thinking about doing some coaching, personal coaching. I was on him within, how long did it take, Jason? 3 minutes after you posted that? I think, because I was watching him that close.
Yeah, it wasn't long. You reached out to me privately. I remember getting a message from you, and you're like, hey, I sent this. Will you please look it over and like please give me a chance? And I was like, wow, like I of course I will. Like I was just floored at the time. Like we got 28 applications for that, which was really, really cool. That was really the beginning of this whole thing for us. To create the outsourced lifestyle that we really created was through that. So you were such a big part of our journey too, because you were one of the 4 that ended up coming on as coaching clients at that time. And now like you and Paul, that's doing just ridiculous numbers, and Nick's doing just ridiculous numbers, and you know, just it was a real, it's still like, it's a big blessing for me to see the success that you're having. And it's funny to think, like, you know, that's kind of how I do my networking thing, is usually me just kind of posting up and chilling when I go on like networking events. Like so many people, like they're like so aggressive when it comes to it, and that's just not how I am. So it's like funny to hear you like just kind of sitting at the bar and just being aloof, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of how I operate right there, you know. Yeah.
I know, it was great. And I think the one question when you asked on that original, you know, you said, you know, do you really, you know, do you really want a lot out of this business? And I don't think you were just talking money at that point. And I think when you asked me that, it was at the event. You know, you said, you know, are you serious about this business? And I said, well, I'm here, aren't I? I mean, I was like, I'm here at this event, Jason. You know, yes, I am serious, but gosh, there's something missing in my business. There was something missing. I had no clue what it was. I knew I needed somebody's help, you know, to get me over whatever that hump was. Yeah. Yep. You know.
You know, think about this. Like this was the starting point, you know. Like it's so crazy to like sit back and get to celebrate this at this point, you know, because like it's always like we're always so like in the now, like we forget that like there's gonna be a tomorrow, as long as, you know, good health permits, and you know, like, you know, obviously any outside circumstances don't pop up, but you know, like we're always so caught in the here and now that we sometimes don't take even any time to look back at like everything that we've accomplished, or you know, like even the failures that you've had along the way. I bet that you've learned valuable lessons out of all of those, that you know what, like I did write this down, like when you have the bug, and what I call the bug is the entrepreneur bug, like when you got it, when you want to build a business, you'll never ever settle for anything other than building a business. Like so there's never a one last time. So when you say that, like there is never ever going to be a one last time, because like if it wasn't this, you would have kept looking. Like there is not a doubt in my mind that you would have kept looking for something. But you know, this has, you know, been obviously something that's provided you a real opportunity to build your business without having to pester people, without having to, you know, get them to try to become good at what you were doing. You know, like you think about how painful it was to be walking around the malls, just walking up to people randomly and asking them, like, How do you feel about your business opportunities right now? Are you open? Like most people are like, get the hell away from me. Heck no, I'm not open. Like I don't know you. And like so, it's like such false pretenses a lot of times that people are like approaching others. It's like just with the intention of trying to make a little bit of money, and that's like this business is awesome because it doesn't make you do that, and that's what's so challenging for people is the lack of ability to sell, the lack of charisma in some cases, the lack of, people skills in some cases. There's a lot of reasons why people struggle in that, but like those compound, right? They compound when you're having to teach people how to recruit and do the same thing that you're doing, like because everybody's starting at the 0 point, and okay, so you are lucky enough to get someone to come into your business. What now? I'm really not all that successful. I've got 3 other jobs that I'm doing. And I have no idea how to teach you how to like build a full-time business out of this because I haven't been able to do it myself, so like it's a catch-22, and like that's what's beautiful about what we do with drop shipping and our way of using Amazon, because they do all the hard work for us, right? Like uh, think about how many, like I'm looking at your application right here. It says on Amazon that you did $1,000 to $5,000 total sales before you hired me as a coach, and now, whoa, you've done. I mean, probably. I don't even know where you're at now. Like you're over 1 million. I know that. Like you might be at 1.2.
Yes. No. Yeah. Actually, a little more than that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got to 1 million a few weeks ago, and now you're at 1.2. It's like, all that hard work's compounding. All the work that you've done over the last 12 months, of this part has really got you to where you're at right now, so it's really fun to look at this because it's so easy to get stuck in the here and now that we forget where we were. Like it's kind of cool that we have it documented. I have this now forever.
Yeah. It's ingrained in my mind. There was one other thing, Jason, that I used to do because I was a single mom, right? When I would pray that something broke in the house, because then I would be able to call somebody to come into my home and fix it, and I would recruit them.
You know what? I got it. Oh my gosh! Like you just brought something back to life for me, Linda. Like when I was, oddly enough, you and I got started with the same company. In the network marketing world. I was 22 when I did it. They happened to be bought by Citigroup at that time, so it wasn't still A.L. Williams. Any of you old schoolers out there know, sell term life insurance and invest a difference. So that was we went through this chapter yesterday in the book, and that just literally reminded me. Like I remember having this pest control guy that came over to the house. And like that was my opportunity to try to recruit him into the business plan. I remember sitting there at the dining room table with him, showing him this, like, dude, look at this. All you got to do is get people to buy life insurance and then invest the difference, and freaking you're going to become like wealthy beyond your measure, because we were going over the 4 corners of everything. You have your employee, you have your self-employed, you have your business owner, and then you have your investor. So like I remember that presentation to this day, like talking about if you get 6%. If you get 12% gains on your investments and everything, so you're bringing random people in and just trying to convince them to be business owners right there. That's hilarious.
I couldn't wait for my water heater to break.
You're sabotaging your own stuff. Yeah. Get people into the web.
Somebody come in because at that point I couldn't leave the house. Right, I had to create ways to bring it to me. So that's
hilarious.
I know. But yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, Linda, I wanted to just kind of look at your story and your journey of success here as you've been drop shipping, part of the group with Jason and us on Amazon, and along the way, everything it's not a straight shot, right? Up and to the right. There's ups and downs and so forth, and there may be a lot of people who are watching this right now and just they're still struggling with that self-doubt, that belief, they're unsure of taking that step, or maybe they have started, but they're encountering the bumps along the road, as they're trying to solve problems and build their business and take action on the things Jason talks about. But what would you say to that person who is encountering those struggles based on your own experience?
Well, I would say to continue to push through, because there is the golden nugget on the other side. Once you push through that problem, and to push through, don't try to do it alone. Don't try to do it by yourself. Engage in the group. I know when Jason, when I brought him on as a coach, oh my gosh, I had to borrow money to actually pay for this, and to pay Jason for the course. I mean, from my mom, no less, and she had more money than I did at that particular moment, and I had to really dig deep. That was a huge bump in the road for us, because we knew we didn't have the money to do it, but I knew that if we didn't do it, then I would still be where I was at back then. I would still be there. I would still be there. So I did whatever it took for me to trust in Jay. I had to pull that out too after 40 years of never succeeding. I had to really pull out of me to trust Jason, not just because he was cute, but to really pull from my inside saying, okay, we are going to do this. I know how scary it is. My hands are shaking. I have heart palpitations. I had all of those feelings going into handing over Jason that money that belonged to my mom. But you know what? In 6 weeks, I had her. I mean, that to me, just because I listened, Jason coached me, and he gave me the nugget that I was able to take my business from zero to where I'm at today. And I am so blessed, and I am so grateful. And I wish Bill was here to be able to he would even talk. I swear, I would let him. I mean, we just wanted to get to 200K, and this is where we ended up for the month. And I was so excited on Thanksgiving Day when I hit my 200K. I was like, yes, 200K club, I got it. And then 4 days later, we did that. 4 days later, we hit 307. I was like, oh, I'm still trying to pinch myself. But are you kidding? It wasn't easy. Our team was working. We were celebrating along the way. We were, did we run into some bumps did we have some out of stocks? Did we have some, things that go on in the business? Oh, heck yes, we did. But did it stop me? Oh, no. Bill was going, nope, can't do it. We're doing it. We're just, you know what? This is our shot. We're going for it. We're just going to do it. This is something we've dreamed of. It's time to let our dreams become real. And that's
Did it.
One thing that you touched on there, I want to kind of bring up is the fact that you weren't doing it all on your own. You had a team of people who are helping you that are, this is not like the network marketing world where the team of people is you trying to convince people to do something. It's like you have people that their jobs are to work for you. And, here's one thing that people that will watch this and say immediately, well, I don't have the money to pay for people to work for me. That there's those mental blocks, right, that we talk about all the time. And like one of the things that I know that we did with you was, you know, you were never really much to fight on anything that I told you to do. Like, you would always do it. Like, we'd say, go out there and hire people. You got to trust, you got to have faith, right? That's one of those opportunities for you to realize what faith looks like. Because faith is like putting your, you know, being vulnerable enough to put your trust into others, and to have, you know, trust into yourself too. Like, because it's not like, hey, you're not just turning it over to me and I do it for you. It's like, you turn it over to me, and I say, all right, like, you're gonna have to work, you're gonna have to do all this stuff, and if you put faith into that process, you know, that's gonna be successful for you. You know, like, so like your faith is turned over to me, and then faith that you can go do those things. I would say that that's the one thing that more than anything else out there holds people back, is their lack of conviction in their own beliefs that they can do something different than they've ever done. Like, they buy in, they live in their past, they live into all the heartache, they live in the hurt, and they live in the, like, what if it doesn't work world, you know, like what if it doesn't work though? Then what's gonna happen? It's like, you don't ever go into anything expecting it not to work. You know, if you want something bad enough, you look at what's right in front of you and you go make it happen. You know, based, like, it's sometimes like opportunity or luck is just opportunity meeting preparedness, right? Like, that's how you become lucky, is when you're aware that there's an opportunity staring at you right in front of your face, and you have the belief in yourself that I can freaking do this. Like, no matter what's happened in my life, I can do this. I can go out there and make this happen and make this a reality. I'm tired of buying into the old story, the old life, and here's an opportunity for me to do something. That's the one thing that, like, people gotta figure out, like, is, you know, when money's the issue, the only difference between wealth and poverty is what you do with that money. How are you looking at it? Is everything a cost, or is it an investment, right? Is it a cost, or is it an investment? So, like, essentially all I've ever done is teach you how to turn money into more money by learning how to switch your mindset about how money works. You know, like, now you're investing it, and your money's making money because you have it placed into areas where people are contributing to your business. You have a real business. You're not just sitting on your couch every day processing orders and listing items and doing all the things that you have to do to run a successful business, you know, and that goes for any business out there. Like, so no matter what kind of business someone's looking at, whether, you know, it's on Amazon, it's off Amazon, everything always comes down to the people that you have on your team, and how do those people interact with you as the leader, and how do you grow as the person to become the leader of those people. And you've done a tremendous job of growth, because I remember when you got started, it wasn't easy for you, right? Like, when you, like, talk about your first experience of hiring some people and how that worked out.
You want me to say that? Well, I was excited about hiring somebody, and I didn't wait. I did it within the second week of coaching with you, you know, and I had no clue how to train them at this point. But I mean, I had business experience because I owned my own business in daycare, and I had people who worked for me then and had to train them, you know. So I just went on that gut instinct and what I knew how to do. And then I actually, because we didn't have everything that the team has today, you know, we were ground zero with you, you know, at the beginning, and you know, we kind of had to shoot from the hip a little bit and create it ourselves. But what I did was got really creative, because I went out and found a YouTube that you did on how to list. You know, because I wanted them to know how to list, right? Because that's what I hired first, was the listers. And I made them watch your video. Because I was like, the only one who could say it better, you know, than me would be you. You know, so, and wow, I mean, but and they did great. They, you know, but oh my gosh, I mean, there was a point where, you know, my listers, I had to let them go. I mean, a whole team. I had a team of 7 people, and they all went. I had to let them go. As successful as our business did, I had to start all over again, and I didn't do it slowly. I did it quickly, and we never skipped a beat. Um, you know, my whole business, you know, when I finally went hired a whole new team, um, wow, we just it took off because I found a really great, you know, loyal, you know, Filipino that, you know, Jay Rick, and I'll tell you what, I was blessed to have him because he just, I know.
That's awesome. That's like I just love it. I love the success that people get, you know, like from it's funny like the videos that I've used to train everybody, it's like it was when I was just getting started myself and like these videos you know, half the time I was just standing there at my laptop. I didn't have like fancy computer equipment or anything. It was literally me just standing in front of my laptop, sharing the screen, and just documenting what I was doing. You know, so like that's my golden nugget for everybody is I have made a tremendous amount of money just documenting while I'm doing things, just documenting how to do simple things, you know, breaking it down into simple tasks that someone, here's one thing that like gets me is how we can do a video that someone overseas that doesn't quite understand English all that well can pick it up, but people here in the U.S. that have, you know, college educations and like all this you know, background and stuff, and it's not because they're not smart enough, it's because they're just not being resourceful enough. They forget that when they're done with school that there's still that you still have to continuously learn in life, right? There's always growth, you know. What I'm so impressed about with you, Linda, is your ability to tie the technologies together, because that's ultimately what I teach people is how you guys can tie technologies together, because that's like kind of like one of my little superpowers is I go out there and find stuff and I figure out how to put that into the puzzle, and then I share it with you so you don't have to go figure it out. And it's like what's always been cool about you is you've taken that and you've actually, you know, built on top of it, but you did, like at the beginning, you didn't let your lack of technology hold you back from being able, because like, hey guys, like we're going to just be honest with you, if you're in your 60s, you got to get good with technology or it's just not going to work for you. If you're in your 50s, you got to get good with technology. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like walking up and down the street recruiting people, that's not the solution. Like it's been proven at this point, you know, for you know, last 40 years since the beginning of time, that's not how you're going to do it. And if you're not going to get good with technology, then it's going to be hard to make it in this world, because the world's moving in that direction. You know, the world's moving towards automation, the world's moving towards tying all these things, but that creates opportunity for us as well, because there's all these different softwares and tools that are already out there that you can use to automate so many things that would have to be done manually. And that's what makes our business work, is the technologies and stuff, and the fact that you've been able to grasp those technologies has made it a world of difference. So like, first, number one, people that don't understand English can understand what we teach, right? To do those things that we need to teach them to do. And then number two, people in their mid-60s like Linda can do it. So like, there's no excuse for us to use our lack of technology as like the reason why we don't do something. It's like you gotta get, like, that's that faith, that's that belief, that's that in motion of like the 1% rule that we talk about. Like, no matter where you're at zero. So you're starting at zero. If technology is your holdup, then your job is to figure out how that one little piece works, right? Once you understand how that one little piece works, you got it. Then you can look at how the next little piece works. Once you understand how that works, you figure out how it ties together with the other thing. And like, you just keep kind of like, you keep doing that, you keep growing, and that's how you build a successful business, you know? Like, it's a process. And you know, the successful people are the ones that can implement those processes. You know, like we teach a franchise business model, essentially. We teach people how to build a franchise at a fraction of what it would cost to really go buy a franchise at this point. That's not always going to be like that, but for you know, the last year, it's been that way. And you know, we've had a consulting model. And we've made a real world of difference for people out there. And like, it's a blessing to see like how both of you guys, like Jerry and Alex, like your store is crushing it as well at the same time, like, because these technologies, they make everything. I think your biggest challenge is getting people to order products fast enough, right? So that's like the next solution that we're putting into place. But like, like, we're building real businesses over here. And there's no like, what your story just, it's so powerful for so many different reasons, because like, you've had those heartaches and those struggles in your life in the MLM world, like so many other people have, right? And it's not because you weren't trying. It just was. It's a tough sell to people. It's not like the industry's bad. It's a good industry. It creates opportunities. And like, what I love about that world is it enters you into that mindset of an entrepreneur. At least it gets you thinking. At least it gets you thinking about building a business. Whether it's the right vehicle to get to the finish line, that's going to be completely dependent on the person. But like, the statistics show that 90+% of people never make really anything in that. So it's not because like everybody's stupid and nobody wants to try hard enough. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for it. It's not everybody has bad mindsets. There's plenty of people with really good mindsets that are trying to build a business that they're just not able to put the puzzle pieces together. So like, you've just done it. You've done it. And like, you've broken the mold. You have made other people that might have these false beliefs see what's possible. If we've broken beliefs, and that's what I'm just so happy about. Like, you have been such a big part of this. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for our community. You are an unsung hero, and you are forever in my prayers, and your family. Like, you have changed my life. And because of you, I've been able to go out there and change other people's lives, because your story and because what you've done, the way that you help people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think that's the key. When I hear Linda's story, it's so much about relationships, isn't it? Just to how she's connected from her brother to helping others, and that's what she does for our community. That's why we all call her the Queen Bee. So we love you, Linda, and we just appreciate your time and coming to share some of your story and journey. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share with people out there?
Well, I think the biggest thing for, if you got a dream, it's time to take them off the shelf, dust them off, and join us in this business, because it is one of the easiest businesses to do as far as being home, being on the internet. Yeah, there's challenges, but you know what? If I can do it at my age and Bill's age, we're heading towards our 70s. It's come on, guys. I mean, it isn't rocket science. It rocks. That's all I have to. I mean, it just, you can crush this business. You can just be coachable. Just do what Jason has put out there for us to do, and it's all right there for you. And it's so easy to share it. You don't have to, convince anybody to do it. You just share it. I can't tell you how many people, because I put it out on my Facebook, what I did. Jason, I got a flux of people coming in. Trust me. They're just like, what? What? I can't believe it. But, and most of everybody, because they've been with me from the beginning, my schoolmates, my whatever, they're going, what are you doing? You know what? I'm selling on Amazon. It's that simple. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm so absolutely grateful. There's just no words. It's in here. It's in my heart. What you have done for me, Jason and Bill, and my family, and all the people who are working for me, because all of that, all of that has been my dream, and it's coming
Your
true.
dream, and it's just starting right now. It's just
I know.
starting.
I
You
know.
know, it's exciting just to think like all the new projects that we're working on to make things better. You know, like I really, my vision is for this to, you know, no matter what happens with the current stuff, you know, like for us to keep building and growing and bringing more value into the world and helping people, and you know, like that gives us the opportunity to serve at a high level, you know. And it's because of your story and because of all the stories that we have in our community that's making this show possible, and like everything, and you know, like so depending on where people are watching this at, because we're going to put it on our blog post, you're about to get in front of a lot of people. So if someone's still watching at this point, you have definitely changed someone's life, you know, because we're just about an hour in at this point, and they're probably on the tip of their seat saying, holy cow, like this is incredible. So like if you want to get some more information about it, there's going to be a couple different areas, depends on where you're watching it. We're going to put it in our show notes, we're going to put it on our blog post. So if you're reading a blog post about Amazon destroying the network marketing industry, and I truly believe that this is a far superior business model, there's going to be links. There's going to be a banner on the side of the page that's got a link to our workshop. And what that workshop actually shows is our business model. It's the exact model that I taught Linda. It's the exact model that Jerry's using. It's the exact model that our entire team is using. And it works. It works amazingly well. There's a couple qualifications. Number one, we only like cool people who want to put the work in. That's number one. Like, we don't like people who aren't going to do the work. It's just not worth our energy to work with those kinds of people. So we have a workshop that you get to look at. And as of right now, the only way that people can get in is if they go through our application process, because we want to make sure that we're protecting our community and protecting people like you who are making such a difference for our members, because so many people join because of your story, and they can reach out to you and talk to you and stuff. But you know, guys, we got to respect her time as well, because she's running a business and she's really busy, and you know, like, she can't just answer a bunch of questions for everybody. So that's why we put this application process in place, to make sure that this business model is going to be a good fit for who you are and what you're looking to accomplish in your life. Because we've done it a lot of ways. We've sold on webinars, we've brought in a lot of people, and you know, unfortunately, sometimes the wrong types of people get in the door, and we have to, you know, kick them out because they're just not contributing to the community, and they're not taking what they're learning. They're you know, stealing energy of people. We're looking for like happy-go-lucky, positive people that are going to put their faith in a system and trust in themselves enough to go through the hard part when they're at the very beginning, to get to the gold at the end of the road, right? The $57,000 day. Can we just flash that up one more time? Like 57. Like, if we could get that up, that would be awesome. Like, that is the journey all the way to that right there. You got to that right there in just a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
Like, it was at the very end of August when we started in 2014. So that was just a little bit over a year. And like she said, she didn't have the money to get started, just like everybody says, right? And guess what? People who always say they don't have the money to do something get out of life, they never have the money. You know, like, money is just, it's a tool, right? It's a tool that we can use to create the life of our dream, or it's something that we can use to imprison ourselves. You know, like, depending on the way that we think about it, how are we going to take that money and put it into education? Like, you think about, like, when you get into things like this, it's for the education factor of it. It's to learn a skill. It's like going to a trade school. You know, you think about people that, like, in the middle of the day, I know that you could turn on the TV right now and watch Tulsa Welding School, probably, at least over here, teaching people how to become welders and make like $17 an hour or something like that. And, you know, this skill that you just learned in the last year and a half and you applied has created an income stream that paid for it in one day. You made more money in one day than the entire cost of your education to get there. And that's like the perception that I want people to understand. It's like, no matter where you're at right now financially, you've got to learn how to make better decisions with what money you do have, you know. And if you can do that, and you can be resourceful, and you can follow directions, then you can have the same exact types of success that Linda's had, and you can run with us, and you can be a part of our community of people who, I think we had, I don't know how many people, I haven't counted it up, but like I know in the last couple of days we had like 15 or 20 people that went over $100,000 in a month, and then we had 6 people recently that went over $1 million in sales since starting with us. So like you got to future pace yourself into like, where do you want to be, and what is that going to look like? Where are you at right now? Doesn't matter. Use that as fuel to get you to where you want to be, because that picture in your future is so much brighter than what's happened in the past. You know, like think about, where do you want to be? Let's document this right now. Where do you want to be? We're going to close it up on this. Where do you want to be in 12 months from now, Linda, when we do our next update?
Well, I'm going for 3 million. I made the million, and now I'm going for 3.
3 in 1 year. 3 in 1 year? Is that what we're hearing? 3 in 1 year?
3 in 1 year. That's right.
All right.
I got the team. I've got the know-how. I've got Jason. I've got Jerry and Alex. I've got the community. There is no reason we cannot do that. And that 57,000 in a day. I want 100,000 in a day.
Just nothing right there. It's just 50 grand in a day. Just another day, as we call it around here, right? Just another day.
You know what? And I thought when I said 60,000 was going to be a tough stretch. Yeah. No.
Yeah, it was nothing for you. It was nothing. It was just you know. Like you've got the system built, now it's working. It works every day, whether you do anything or not, right? It's there. The machine's built. You know, like you pushed the boulder up the mountain. You got to the apex of the mountain, and now it's rolling downhill. And now you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor because you were willing to put the work in ahead of time to build what you want. Like so many people quit in the very beginning when it's hardest. If they just push through that really hard phase, when the boulder is the heaviest at the very bottom of the mountain, you know, like when you have no momentum, that's when it's hard, and that's when everybody quits. That's why there's no competition in this world, because 99% of the population quits before they even get started. So all you get to do is compete against the 1%, and the 1% just they operate at such a higher level, and that's why, you know, in a sad way, that's why the wealth is owned by 1% of the population, because like everybody else is quitting on themselves. So this is a perfect example of what happens if you push through and you don't quit on yourself, and you put your dream in place and you make it compelling enough. Like you didn't want to be poor, live in poverty into your retirement years. My parents are going through the same thing. So this business has been a blessing for them as well, you know, because I knew that they weren't going to have any money to retire on if we didn't find some way to change things. And my mom's been a business partner of mine, and you know, you and my mom are around the same age, and like it's cool to you know, 60-some-year-old grannies that are crushing everybody right now.
I love your mama. She is. Yeah, we relate. We have a blast relating.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, Linda. You've been a blessing in our lives, and you know, you've been a blessing to so many people that don't even know you at this point. You're gonna impact a lot of people's lives because you're an amazing person. So thank you for everything that you've given, selflessly given to make this a reality for a lot of people.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jerry, Alex, and everybody that has given me the strength to really push forward, because really, truly, if you guys weren't in our corner, it wouldn't be worth anything for me. And you're there.
You'd be lonely, right? Success is lonely if you don't have anybody to share it with.
We're looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, Linda.
I know. I'm so excited, Jason. I'm like, yeah, and we're going to go to the Philippines. I'm so excited. When I found out I had to do shots, I'm going to tell you, Jason, you're lucky. I've made all my arrangements already.
I'm not the Spanish king of the world. I am good at many things, but planning is not one of those things that I particularly like doing. So it's like I don't like doing it, so I'm not going to. But that gives me a plug right there. So like our inner circle is having our second event here in a few weeks here in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's a regular thing that we're doing for our inner circle members. That's our consulting clients. It's our high level program that we have in place. So like if you go to the page, if you go to the link that we're going to provide for you wherever you're at, it's going to bring you to our workshop, and then at the end of our workshop, you're going to have an opportunity to look at what our inner circle is all about and our coaching program is all about. So you get to meet awesome people like Jerry and Linda and Alex, who's behind the scenes, kind of just being the maestro of this thing, making sure that our sound's working well and everything. So, guys, it's been a blast. I certainly can't wait to the event here in a couple weeks. We're going to have an awesome time.
We are. I'm excited.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's that. So, guys, signing out. Y'all have an amazing day, and thank you for watching this video, this hangout. You did awesome, Linda.
Thank you, guys. Love you all. Everybody.
Love you, Linda.